Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the Kitzur Shulhan Aruh and the laws of Niske Gufay, which is the laws of bodily damages. And I preface this next halacha with a disclaimer that the words of the Kitzur Shulhan Aruh are going to say one thing, but before you take them to heart, let's try to explain them for our generation. And he writes the following: Afilu mishar seishen shemeh b'koilai. Even if you have a servant who doesn't listen to your voice, he doesn't follow your instructions, a person is not allowed to hit him. Okay, that's a given. Here are the words. However, a parent is allowed to hit their young children, or even an orphan that he's raising in his own home. Why? Why are you allowed to hit them? In order to set them on the straight path. Because this in reality is for their good. The patch that you give to your child, or even over here he writes, a yasam, an orphan that you're raising in your house, so that patch, that hit that you give for the right reason at the right time to let them know that they're stepping out of line, it's not that you are doing it out of anger and out of vengeance and with spite and with tremendous strength that you're throwing into your punch. Rather, you're doing it l'toivasim, you're doing it for their good because it'll straighten them out and they'll be able to walk down the derech hayasha, the straight path of Torah, of mitzvahs, of midos, and of Yiddishkeit. Now, this is a major discussion in the world of chinuch habanim, of raising children today. This is not something that can be contained within a few statements in the Kitzur Shulhan Aruh anymore. In the olden days, the Kitzur is correct. The tenacity and the resilience of a child was much greater than it is today. And there was a different system of chinuch, of raising the children of previous generations, where it was standard and it was understood that if a child steps out of line, they're going to get smacked, they're going to get a patch. In the schools in the olden days, not even just the religious schools, even in the non-religious schools, there are plenty of stories of the children who went there, and if they would talk out or they would misbehave or they would step out of line, they were called up in front of the class, the entire class, and they were told to bend over, and then they would get a cane. The teacher would pull out a cane and they would spank the child and hurt the child in front of the entire class, and that was okay, because that's the resiliency of the children back then. It was understood that's what works. In our generation, the prevailing opinion amongst machanchim, amongst the educators, is that we are not a generation where our children can handle patches, they cannot handle hits, they can handle the harsh response of a parent when they do something wrong, and therefore we are a generation that has lost the ability to a great extent to know when and how and if it's appropriate to give a patch, to give a hit to a child. And therefore, in general, parents today do not strike, they do not hit their children. The children are weaker, the children are more fragile, they have a lot more going on in their lives, and they cannot handle such a thing, even if it's given with love, even if it's given with warning, even if it's given while the parents are crying tears in their eyes because it pains them more than it pains the child to give them a patch, to give them a hit, even if the child is a strong child. Nevertheless, we find from many of our Gedolei Yisrael, our great leaders of the generation, that it is not the time nor the place in this historical period of raising children where they can handle a hit, a strike, a patch, a slap, and the like. And therefore, although the Kitzur writes that it's the Teivas and that it's for their good, it was, in the time of the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, it was for their good. It made them realize that they were stepping out of line and making mistakes and doing the wrong things. In our generations, they call parent services on you, or children's services, and you see the parents getting taken away in a police car because they patched their child on the arm over there because the child ended up striking their brother. Whatever the story might be, we have to be careful today. It doesn't work the way that it used to, and therefore, although the Kitzur says that you are allowed to strike, which means halachically you are, really in the world of halacha you would be allowed to, but we have to know how to apply that to our generation. Tzarich lizahir, so too a person has to be careful. Don't discard broken shards of glass or other sharp, dangerous things. But makam sheyuchal lahazik, in a place where other people can walk over it and end up getting injured. We are responsible. We are responsible, says the Kitzur Shulhan Aruch, to watch over our possessions and our things to make sure that we don't leave dangerous things lying around that are, God forbid, going to end up causing damages to another person. Have a wonderful day, a safe day, and it should be a day in which we are able to conduct our lives according to the beautiful halachas of the Torah, the halachas of the Kitzur, and understand how to apply them to our lives. All the best.